Sunday morning here this morning in our holding area here. Had some trouble with one of the switches that runs our air operated gate here in the holding area yesterday. It was Saturday yesterday. Thought I had it fixed. Usually you pull it apart and get some oil in there, get it lubricated good, and it works, but worked all day yesterday, then yesterday in the evening didn't work again, and now this morning it wasn't working again either when I came and checked it out. So got these buttons here. This one runs forward, and it's this is the one that's getting stuck, and you can hear it leaking air. So the point of that gate, you can see it in the back there. It helps move the cows up to the entrance of the parlor, and we generally run that gate back and forth constantly all the time. That sound of that gate running is kind of a signal to the cows that they need to come forward and into the parlor. As you can see, now they're all coming forward, but we're not able to shut it off right now, so it comes forward. It'll just sit there and kind of push up against them, but then we can't run it in reverse. So I'm not going to pull it apart now, because then we can't operate this gate at all, and we need to be able to bare minimum lift it up and down to get the cows into the holding area. But I'll come back when we shut down for lunch. So we need to be able to operate that gate so that our guys don't have to come into the holding area here to chase the cows up. They just come up on their own, because as they hear that gate running back and forth, that's a signal to them, because they've been here plenty of times, that they need to move up into the parlor. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, girls. Now, because I'm standing here, they don't want to move either, probably. Here they come. But for whatever reason, that switch is getting stuck, and it's always pushing air to the forward valve, which then doesn't let you stop it or run it in reverse. It'll run in reverse just because the reverse hose is a little bigger, so it overrides the forward pressure. But come on, girls. Come on. So we'll come back here a little bit later when the guys are washing the parlor down, then we'll replace that valve. I've got a spare one in the storage room here. At least I think I do anyways. Got a spare valve in here. This is essentially what it looks like. So this is inside that cabinet. The green button's on this side. So I'll take that green button off. Then we can unthread this. We might have to cut it, because those are original buttons. They're 15 years old, so I'm not sure we'll be able to get them unthreaded, but either way we'll get it off. Get this one on. Need to put a push to connect fitting on either end of this. Air comes in, I think, in the back, and then when you push it, it sends air out the top to the valve that then lets it run in forward. We'll get this fixed here later this morning. And then maybe I thought I could give an update on the hose change we made here. It's probably been, well, it would have been in May. So a little over 6 months that we went from 5/8 milk hose to 3/4 milk hose. But we'll get into that here maybe later this morning, or in the afternoon as they're milking. I can come back and talk about that. It's lunchtime here now. The guys just finished washing the parlor down. Got the unit set in the wash trays. The wash is on currently. It's probably filling here at the moment. It just ran a cycle. But I waited till lunchtime. I could definitely do this while we're milking, but if I have to cut this button out, I'd rather do it with no cows in here so we don't disturb the cows. And I can shut all the air off so I don't have to worry about capping a line off or trying to pinch a line off, or having a line blowing air the whole time while I'm working on it. Just a lot easier to do it this way. Got a zip tie on here because the hinges broke off a couple times already, so just zip tied this door on here. This is what it looks like. It's a little dirty, but this button is the one that we're going to replace. This is incoming air, feeds to all the buttons on here, and then this line right here is the line that's supplying it to the valve. That's over there in that box, goes underground into that box, and then that sends air to the gates to run either this motor in the center here or lift up and lower it. And essentially what's happening is inside that button, it's getting hung up, and I'm wondering if there isn't maybe something in there, something broke off, or the seal is bad and it's letting air through all the time. Either way, we're just going to replace it, put a new one on, and then we should be good to go. So we'll start by unplugging these hoses here, and then that button is Loctited on the threads because I Loctite all of these so they don't fall off. So hopefully I can get that busted loose. Otherwise we'll cut it off. I do have another green button in the storage room, but we'll try salvaging this one if I can. I have to say this came off significantly easier than I was expecting. So this is the valve. I'll pull this fitting and this fitting off and put it on that new one, and then we'll stick it back on. Got the new valve here. Busted the T off the old one, so I'll grab the new T. We'll stick it back on. Got it put back together. I didn't show you guys, but I did spray some oil into the supply tube here. Just some, it's actually just transmission oil. So that when I pressured it up, it sends all that oil into all these valves. Just helps keep those valves lubricated. Well, I've got the valve opened up here already, so we're just gonna try it here. Forward. It looks like we're good. So this is the one we replaced. I'm gonna get some Loctite and Loctite that button back on there, and we should be good to go. Good as new. I'll probably clean that box out a little, just hose it down and wipe it off with a rag. And then, yeah, should be good to go. We'll pick the video up back after lunch here when we're milking in here again. And we'll, I'll give you guys an update on these 3/4 inch milk hoses, let you guys know what I think about them and how the cows have been doing on them. After lunch here now. The push button is working. Just wanted to talk about this milk hose change, give you guys maybe a little bit of an update on it, how things are going here. Since we made that change, we went from 5/8 milk hose to 3/4 milk hose, if you remember, back at the end of May of this year. So it's been about 6-ish months, just about. When I say milk hose, I'm talking about this hose here, and that's goes to the wall here and then down to the basement. All of that was replaced with 3/4 hose, and then we did have to replace the adapter on the wall there where the hose pushes into on either end to a larger nipple to accommodate that larger hose. But on the claws here and on the milk meters downstairs, they were designed for this size hose, so we didn't have to do anything there. So you'll see we're milking with 4 people at the moment. Typically we milk with 3, but we are teaching a new employee. It's actually a son of a longtime employee, a son of Refugio. He's worked on our farm a little over 10 years. And now this is his second son that's coming to work for us here now. So just about everybody starts with milking on our farm, so we're training him to milk. And we'll see where he fits in once he's comfortable with milking by himself. So we try to let him milk with a long-term employee for at least a month or so. Make sure they understand not only how the milking process works, but why it's so important to follow routines. And how to look for cows that have mastitis, how to make sure cows are milked out completely. When you have to reattach the machine, which typically doesn't happen a lot, but if a cow does kick a machine off like she just did there, we want to have it reattached if we need to. This line of cows is just about done here. So I just wanted to go over a few stats here maybe quickly. So since making that change in May, our average somatic cell count has been 84, which is extremely good. Look back last year, the exact same time frame, and it was 88, which is also extremely good. So there was doing a little better, but not significant enough for me to say that's down to the hoses. We've been under 100 somatic cell count now for 27 months straight. So the guys are doing an extremely good job in the parlor here. The cows are doing really good milk quality wise. Guys are doing a good job cleaning the stalls and keeping them bedded up. Just takes a whole team effort to have that kind of consistency in milk quality. We also currently have one cow with mastitis that's being treated for mastitis. It's the first one in December here, and I did look at how our mastitis cases ranked last year, same time frame, to now these last 6 months, and we are down about 35%, but we did have kind of a mild summer heat wise. So again, it's an improvement. That's a pretty significant improvement actually, 35%. But I'm not going to just say that's down to the milk hose change alone. So if you remember, along with that milk hose change, going to a bigger hose, we were able to reduce the vacuum some. So in theory, better for teat ends, better for cows at the end when they're just getting down to a low amount of milk in their udders, and also for those lower producing cows, late lactation cows. They have a lower vacuum on their teat ends, so that's why we thought it would be not only positive for somatic cell count, milk quality, but also for mastitis cases. For the health of the teat ends of the cows, it should be beneficial or positive for all those things. And we have in general seen an improvement. Again, there's so many variables here. The weather is a variable. How good of a job we do in the freestalls is a variable. How good of a job our guys do in the parlor is a variable. So it's milk hose is one variable, but it's not the only variable. But we are trending in the right direction compared to where we were at the same time last year, so definitely a positive there. As far as milk production wise, we're fairly similar to where we were last year, so I didn't expect to really see a bump there. Their cows are currently milking 91 pounds, 91 to 92 pounds in the tank. Butter fats of 430 and proteins a little over 4.3, or a little over 3.3, sorry. 4.3 protein, that'd be nice. But cows are milking really good, doing really good there. I don't know what that is, energy corrected. Around 103, 100 or so pounds energy corrected, I suppose. Which is pretty much right where we were last year, energy corrected wise. So again, no change there at all. Which I wasn't thinking we would get a benefit in milk production, but you never know, it would have been nice. But the one area that we did see a pretty big change was milking speed. So I don't know exactly per cow, per milking, what the milking speed has changed, but currently milking 1,650 cows, which has typically been on the high end for us. And we still have about, I don't know, about 2 hours of downtime on top of our wash time. And that, a year ago, I don't think we were milking 1,650 cows. I'd have to go back and look, but we would have had zero downtime essentially. The guys would have had enough time to get the milking done, wash everything down, let the equipment wash, and have an hour lunch. And there really wasn't any break in there, and we've gained some time there. So in theory, I mean, we're milking about 250 cows an hour. We could milk probably another 150 extra cows if we wanted to. We might try to get up to about 1,700 cows, but we'll do that slowly internally with our own heifers. We've been kind of building up to 1,650 cows here over the last couple months. Could potentially be at 1,700 cows in the next 2-3 months with how many cows we have calving and heifers coming into the herd. And if I keep our cull rates where they are currently, we did ship a bunch of low production cows here the other day. We were actually milking a little more than 1,650 cows. We were closer to like 1,665, 1,670. We shipped a bunch of cows that were do not breeds under 75 pounds. But that was a fairly big change if you see how much extra time we have now. So in theory, our high producing cows are able to let their milk down quicker because they're not restricting that vacuum. When we had the smaller hoses on those really high producers, the milk just couldn't get through that 5/8 hose quick enough, and the vacuum at the teat ends was actually dropping pretty significantly. Where we've got a much tighter window of vacuum at the teat ends, which is allowing the vacuum to be consistent throughout the whole milking, and to be consistent whether it's a cow producing 180 pounds or a cow producing 60 pounds near the end of her lactation. Now waiting on this side to be done. Looks like one cow down at the end there. Got this side hooked up. They're essentially keeping fairly busy now. By the time one side is done, the other side is by the time they're done attaching one side, the other side is just about done. They can post dip them, and then the next group will come in. Now obviously with 4 people in the parlor, we always try to ask them to try to not milk any faster for the cow's sake, but it's hard for anybody to stand still for 12 hours and just watch, so we always end up milking a little faster with 4 people, which is fine as long as they don't get carried away with attaching the units too quickly after pre-dipping. Make sure we're still kind of in that window from the time we touch the cow to when the machine is attached. We still want to have that in the right time frame. Now next line's coming in here. I don't really have anything else to add here to the video. Got the gate working. It's after lunch here, just about 2 o'clock. We're gonna head to Jamestown. Ian's got a Christmas program for skating, so gonna head home here in a little bit. Come back tonight and make lists for tomorrow morning. It's Sunday again here today. I think the last video I shot on a Sunday as well. If you got questions, comments, post them down below. And appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. The routine is pre-dip 8 cows, strip 8 cows, and then wipe 2, attach 2, wipe 2, attach 2. So our guys that are very experienced, they will wipe one with their left hand and one with their right hand. So he's still learning, but that's okay. That's you have to start somewhere. We did think we were gonna have to add weight to this chain, but because there's a counterweight in here that helps keep this hose up, but that's actually working okay. We did shorten these hoses up from where we were before to help kind of keep that unit where we want it, centered underneath the cow's udder, and we wanted to make sure we still had that good adjustability if we needed it. Because as you can see, if you look down the line, not every cow is the same